Hello. For those who do not know me, I am Christina Andrade, a Grammar Core team member. In this video, I'll cover how to read and respond to the various types of gravitational wave alerts. I'll break down the process into manageable sections and provide detailed instructions for each step. Feel free to send your questions to the Zoom chat or the training channel. An experienced team member can respond in the interim, or I will respond at the break between sections. Please make sure you are signed up for OwnCloud, SkyPortal, and Forge. You can find information on connecting in the manual under Section 1, Signing Up for Grandma's Utilities. I'm going to briefly go over the correct settings you should see in order to be receiving alerts from SkyPortal. We will use SkyPortal in our observational campaigns. This platform serves as our interface for conducting the campaign, including receiving alerts, contacting teams, uploading data, etc. Upon connecting, you'll encounter a page similar to the one shown below. If not, click on Dashboard in the left sidebar. Your initials should appear in the top right corner. To correctly set up your profile in SkyPortal, you need to adjust your profile settings to activate the notifications you wish to receive. As follow-up advocates, you'll need to access your profile to modify your notification preferences. When making any settings change, press Update after each line. Make sure you have turned on the Sources button and select your GW candidate and GW counterpart from the list of options. Click Update. Below Sources, find the GCN Events option. Ensure to activate this option and then click Create New Profile. Your GCN Events profile should include LVC Preliminary, LVC Initial, LVC Update, LVC Retraction, under GCN Notice Types, and GW under GCN Tags, as shown below. Make sure to press Update. In all cases, make sure to configure options to receive alerts via email and Slack by clicking on the bell symbol. Make sure to select On Shift, as this will guarantee notifications while you have signed up as shifter. For information on how to turn these settings on in SkyPortal, you can go to the manual under Section 1.5, Connecting to iCare SkyPortal, or find this video in the Grandma YouTube channel. For Slack notification instructions, check under Section 1.2, or just Google how to turn on notifications for specific Slack channels. I will pause here for questions. The next section will discuss how to understand the different gravitational wave alert types. While you are on shift, you are going to be checking the status of the GW Alerts channel on Slack often. I recommend once every roughly 15 minutes to ensure a prompt response. As soon as a new gravitational wave trigger is received, the Gravitational Wave Alert channel will have a new entry. At the time of an alert, you will receive an email, as shown on the left, or see a message in the GW Alerts channel, as shown on the right. Read the entry. You are going to see one of 4 different types of alerts: early, preliminary, initial, and update. The first you'll receive for a new detection is a preliminary alert. In Grandma, we initially respond to the preliminary. This is the first type of alert you will receive when an event is detected by LVK, LIGO, Virgo, Kagra. Preliminary alerts have a sky map associated with it. This is what Grandma uses to point our telescopes. You can find the sky map and other relevant information pertaining to the alert by clicking on the link found in the GW Alerts channel. This will take you to the gracedb.ligo.org page for this detection. Here you can see what the time of the alert was. If you scroll down to Log Messages, you can find the preliminary sky map. This sky map was released alongside the first preliminary alert. The gravitational wave experts at LVK also received the preliminary alert, and they are woken up to understand whether or not it comes from an astrophysical event or it is just noise. I'll talk more about noise later. The preliminary alert arrives when LVK interferometers have made a detection, and the systems on LVK are processing the information. The initial alert is the next type of alert to arrive after the preliminary. Initial alerts can arrive within an hour of the preliminary to several hours later. Sometimes, an initial alert is not sent to the community, or is never received by Grandma. As well, in the event that the alert is not astrophysical, a false alert, you will receive a retraction. The next type of alert to arrive after the initial is the update. After several hours to one day, we receive an update alert for the same event. The initial and update alert are important to monitor because it will constrict the sky map of the gravitational wave source. Only some events will have a preliminary, initial, and update alerts. Not all of the events will. As a shifter, you need to read all the alerts that arrive during your shift, whether you have received the preliminary alerts during your shift time or not. This is why it is important to make accurate reports between shift times. Rarely, before the preliminary, an early warning alert will be delivered. We do not follow up in Grandma with these early alerts because there is no sky map associated with it. These are not things you need to respond to. Wait for the preliminary alert. Sarah describes the different alert types in more detail in her video, Gravitational Wave Alert, Different Types. The transcript for this video can be found in section 7.8 of the manual. Now we know what the various types of alerts we can receive during our shift time will look like. I will pause here for questions. The next section will go over what to do when we receive a new preliminary alert. When you receive a new preliminary alert, check the properties of the alert in the GW Alerts channel. Then, write a report in the Observations channel specifying the type and qualities of the alert. This will allow the wider collaboration to be notified of an event and prepare. This report will include the following. What is the name of the alert? Is it a binary black hole collision, black hole neutron star collision, or binary neutron star collision? What is the distance? What is the area? Do we follow up? And if we do follow up, or go Grandma, we need to tag the whole channel. When reading a preliminary alert, we need to understand its quality in order to correctly respond to the follow-up question. Grandma focuses on alerts originating from binary neutron star and black hole neutron star collisions, located relatively nearby, below 200 megaparsecs, and within an area below 200 degrees squared, with a Grandma score of 2 or 3. These are the properties you will primarily look at to determine follow-up capability. Side note, there are two other properties to keep in mind when determining follow-up detections that may not score high but have other good properties. Check trigger time and time since TO in the GW Alerts message. If time since TO is above 1 day, it means that we don't care about it. The second, coherence between detectors versus noise. We need to see the value. When it is below -3, it means that there is a high chance that the event is not astrophysical and is a mistake or just noise. These are the secondary properties you will weigh when the distance, area, and Grandma score are not in perfect conditions. If all the primary requirements are met, you can request follow-up observation by submitting the report and including Go Grandma in the message you send to observations. This means you are notifying telescopes to begin observing. If the alert does not meet these criteria, you respond with no follow-up. When this tag happens, no email needs to be sent and no mention in Sky Portal. These are example reports for alerts of different types and significance. Example 1 is a good alert. Example 2 is an alert that is not of interest to Grandma. Example 3 occurs after you receive an initial alert or an update that clarifies it is no longer worth following up on. For example, it is no longer a binary neutron star or neutron star black hole collision. You include this information in your end of shift report. I will discuss end of shift reports in more detail at a later time, but they are similar to what you send in observations. Make note that sometimes new preliminary alerts can come in between update or initial alerts for another detection. It is possible that you will be managing several different alerts at the same time. Sarah describes this in more detail in her video, Preliminary Alert Slack Message. The transcripts for that video are in section 7.3. A summary of that information is also found in the manual under section 3. I will pause here for questions. The next section will go over what to do after you post in the observations channel. If it is a good quality alert and you have sent out requests for follow-up observations, these are your next steps. Add the name of the event, for example, S231231AG, in Sky Portal, by accessing the menu bar and going to Sources. This is not automatically done. Make sure it is tagged iCare and Go Grandma by selecting the plus symbol on the SkyPortal interface. This informs anyone viewing SkyPortal that we are currently observing this detection. To note, after a follow-up worthy preliminary alert is sent out, Grandma will automatically generate an observation plan. Telescope teams will be able to retrieve these plans from OwnCloud or SkyPortal. As telescope teams respond to you in the observations channel, enter who is and is not observing and why in the comment section of SkyPortal. Include the telescope name, who responded to you, and if they cannot observe, include why. Side note, the telescope teams must conduct observations within 24 hours of receiving the plan. If they do not, no further observations are required. So make sure to accurately update SkyPortal from information in the observations channel and when posting to the comments section. Update the event accordingly as you receive more alerts about the object. If the source does not meet follow-up specifications, you can remove the tag Go Grandma and add the tag Not iCare. You can remove tags by hovering over them and selecting the trash symbol. To sum it up, if it is follow-up worthy, you tag iCare and Go Grandma. If it is not follow-up worthy, remove Go Grandma and add Not iCare. Furthermore, in the last step, if you have initiated observations, upon confirmation from the core team that we are stopping all observations, remove the Go Grandma tag and add Stop Grandma with the plus symbol. Make a short announcement in observations and include it in your end of shift report. I will pause here for questions. The next section will go over what to do after you've requested observations and the subject of gravitational wave counterpart candidates. So far, we have reviewed the different types of alerts, what makes a detection worth following up on, how to request observations, and learned where to document which telescopes have confirmed their ability to observe. Now, we will discuss what the protocol is in the case that we get to observe a gravitational wave counterpart candidate. Due to this process of observation following a preliminary alert that we previously discussed, potential candidates for the optical counterpart can be identified. These are what we refer to as gravitational wave source candidates. We have a 72-hour window which needs to begin in the first 24 hours following the preliminary alert. Then, we can search for the gravitational wave source candidates within the subsequent 72 hours for both types of observation plans. As telescope teams are observing and uploading images of the gravitational wave source candidates, the FAs will be doing the following. These will be expanded on in another video and in the manual soon. The shifters will be linking significant gravitational wave alerts with SkyPortal and adding corresponding sources by checking GCN circulars that you should be receiving in your email, with TNS and FINC links for additional data. You'll be adding photometry data from GCN circulars as they are uploaded to OwnCloud. You'll be assessing observability in SkyPortal and contacting relevant telescope teams, annotating reports in SkyPortal for 3 days, and ensuring science-ready images and photometry values are updated. For more information on gravitational wave source candidates and different types of observation plans, please refer to Sarah's video, Gravitational Wave Source Candidates, Transients. As well, the transcript for this video can be found in section 7.7. Next section is End of Shift Reports. The end of shift reports are pretty straightforward and do not need to follow an exact format. Examples of a template with a list of telescopes do exist in the manual under section 4.1, in case you ever need a reminder. However, end of shift reports do need to include the following, if applicable. Name of new alert that occurred during your shift, updates for any previous alerts that were followed up on, telescope teams that have been contacted, the most recent GCN circulars that occurred during your shift, and any activities in SkyPortal, such as updating of tables, comments, candidates, or GCNs. Note: if any of these are not applicable to what occurred during your shift time, for example, there were no new alerts, state no new alerts. Like I stated before, they should look like what you sent in the observations channel for an alert. There are example reports for these alerts of different types and significance. Example 1 is a good alert. Example 2 is an alert where there was no follow-up. And example 3 There are a series of things going on. As we conclude this video, remember to follow these steps diligently for effective follow-up actions. As well, during your shift, make sure to read all alerts in the Gravitational Wave Alerts channel, as it is possible for parameters to change and the detection to become worthy or unworthy of follow-up. If you have any questions or encounter difficulties, don't hesitate to reach out for assistance. Thank you for your attention, and let's continue our efforts to contribute meaningfully to our observations in O4B.